Hello. Hey. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Remember Tech Thursday. I'm Kadesha. Thank you for being here. We are going to do some really good hacking, really good vibing, and some learning today because I have some really exciting news to share with you, just in case you missed it in the GitHub land of announcements and shipping. How are you? I'm here in Chicago. Just got back from a work event in Seattle. It was amazing, but I'm here and I'm back ready to hack with you. So let me know where you're joining from. Let me know what you've been working on. We've been doing a lot of prep for GitHub Universe. If you don't know about GitHub Universe, that's very interesting to me. But I'm going to change the music here. But GitHub Universe is our flagship event where we do announcements, we hack. You get to vibe with open source maintainers, your favorite open source maintainers. And, we just have a really good time as developers. It's a conference for developers, by developers, and I hope to see you there. You can sign up virtually if you can't make it in person in San Francisco. But if you can make it in person in San Francisco, I would love to see you. There. But yeah, hey Danielle, greetings from Mexico. How is it there? How's the weather? I've been to Mexico. It's a great place. Hello, good evening. You're here from Germany, Tia. Sorry about that, Tia Aurora. Welcome to the stream. Hey, Katrina. Hey, thanks for joining in. So let's get, it's a big duck. Yes, yes. We're very literal about the Rubber Duck Thursday theme here. Okay, so, oh, Penny, really good insight here. So this is exciting. I'm hoping to see an easy way to install tried and tested MCPs from trusted sources. It's interesting you say that because this week we launched the official GitHub MCP registry. Incredible. So it has MCP servers that you can install with just a click of a button. I'm going to show you how you can do that today. Let's see. Awesome. So that's all the greetings for today. Let's get into the show. Hey, thanks for joining. Let's get into the show. All right. So I'm going to pop you guys on my other screen here. Also, I have a special guest with me today, and he's going to be talking about, oh my goodness, it's in my mind. How he's using GitHub Copilot to build his, company, his tools, all that stuff. I believe value engineering. Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but he's going to be on the stream later on today. So let me just pop up my screen here. Boop. And then let me change this background. Boop. Awesome. So let's get into it, right? So let's take a look at what we've been up to at GitHub. So let's go to the change log. And we've been super busy this week. So let's see. Today's the 18th, and we've already shipped a release. So Copilot code review, now in JetBrains IDE and Visual Studio. Woo! So Copilot code review is a really great feature where you can get an initial review of your code before submitting it to your team for the official review. So that's very exciting that it's now shipped in JetBrains and Visual Studio. Love to see it. Let's see what else we have. Improvement. Okay, let me just go to the releases here. Share read-only Sparks with controlled data access. Anthropic Claude Opus 4.1 is now available in public preview in Visual Studio, JetBrains IDEs, Xcode, and Eclipse. Amazing. So if you use any of these IDEs, definitely check that out. You can now use Claude Opus 4, which is their flagship thinking model, in GitHub Copilot. And the big news that we had this week is that the GitHub MCP registry is now here. So this is the fastest and best way to discover AI tools, MCP servers, and one-click install them from GitHub, from GitHub's UI. So the MCP registry it's in, I believe it's public preview. And so if you've ever tried finding MCP servers that's secure, that's valid, that's good, that works, that it's all over. It's in community forums, it's, on a random repository that, you have to remember where it is unless you start it so you can find it quickly. But with the GitHub MCP registry, you have a one-stop shop essentially on how to connect with MCP servers in the world. So if you go to this short link here, gh.io/MCP registry, you will be taken to the site to start browsing. So let's click here. And this is the new GitHub MCP registry. So for example, and I'm gonna save this for later once we get through the change log. But yeah, if you didn't know, we launched the MCP registry. Let me know in the chat if you knew that we launched the MCP registry, and what your initial impression is. What your initial impression of it is. We're always looking for feedback because we've launched with a curated set of MCP servers to see how the community responds. So we'd love to get your feedback on it. Let's go back to, let's go back to the blog here. But yeah, so this is, a really big announcement for us. So definitely check it out. I'm going to leave the link up for now. What else did we do? Let's go back to releases. GitHub Enterprise License History Tracking now available in public preview. Auto model selection for Copilot in VS Code in public preview. Oh, what's that? Let's see. GitHub Copilot in VS Code now includes an auto option that picks the model for you. You can select auto from the model picker. It's available for Copilot Free, Pro, Pro Plus, and is coming soon to Copilot Enterprise and Copilot Business. What? This genuinely, I'm like, whoa, this is so cool. Yeah, super. I'm also super excited for this. So let's see how it works. So in this initial preview, auto optimizes for model availability, currently routing to GPT-5, 5 Mini, 4.1, Sonnet 4, and Sonnet 3.5, with more models coming soon. You can see which model was used by hovering over the model response. Stay in control, switch between auto and any specific model anytime, respects your policies, auto honors all user model settings. Oh, premium request used for auto is based on the model it selects, which is currently limited to the models with OX plus 1x multipliers listed above. So yeah, okay. Getting started, head to Copilot chat in VS Code and select auto in your model picker. Ooh, this is really exciting, folks. What do you think about this? I think this is definitely the right direction. I'm going to write this down so I can show you how it works. We're going to learn about it together. So I'm just writing that down here on my little listy. That's great. And so this is what's really awesome about going through the GitHub changelog. So you can see what we've been shipping, because this is a brand new release this week that, you know, I didn't know about. That is very exciting. Let's see what else we have. Verified answers generally available in GitHub discussions. Very exciting. And I think the rest of this we went over last week. So there's a REST API for GitHub projects, sub-issues, and improvements, and more. That's exciting. So yeah, the two things I want to show you all today is GitHub MCP registry and also the auto model selection for Copilot in VS Code. How exciting. Oh, your gh.io link didn't work for me, but got it at github.com/MCP. Okay, let me try it. gh.io/MCP registry. Okay, I'm not sure why it didn't work for you. Let me see if I spelled it incorrectly here. gh.io/MCP registry. Oh, I would love for you to try again and let me know if the link works for you. I just typed it into my browser and it's working for me, but if it's not working for you, just let me know. But if you do go to github.com/MCP, it will take you, right to the MCP registry. So let's take a look at it. So start browsing here. Great. So right now I'm on the MCP registry and let's say I want to install the GitHub's MCP server, right? I can click this install button here and do install in VS Code or install in VS Code Insiders. That's one way to do it. I can also click the tile to go to the documentation for the MCP server. And it's very important to read the documentation, right? Because even if you one-click install the MCP server in your IDE, you sometimes need an API key. You sometimes need special access to another tool. You sometimes need to start a dev container to use the MCP server. So make sure you're reading the documentation here on how to use the MCP servers that you're installing. For the GitHub MCP server, because we have a remote MCP server, we can one-click install and we should be in business. So you can click this install button here. I'm going to click install in VS Code, open up VS Code, and then you'll see that it routes us to the MCP server in VS Code. I can now click on the install button here, and then it's going to ask me to authenticate with my GitHub account. I'm going to click allow, and then I'm going to select Lady Kerr here because I'm already signed in on VS Code. And I believe we should be in business, but let's test it out. If I click on this tools button here, and now we have the GitHub MCP server installed from the MCP registry. How amazing is that? Give me some excitement. Give me some excitement. Okay, and so now I can go ahead and use the GitHub MCP registry. So let's see here. Let's see here. Can you create an issue in this repo? That says, I'm going to make it simply like update UI. I don't have a real issue that I want to create, but I want to show you the flow here. And I'm going to just be explicit and say, well, let's see if it uses the GitHub MCP server before I explicitly say use the GitHub MCP server. Let me know if this is too tiny for you here. Alrighty. Hey y'all. Hey. Thank y'all for joining, those who joined. Today we're looking at the GitHub MCP registry. It's a registry to find MCP servers really quickly without having to scurry through the internet. And you can one-click install MCP servers from our MCP registry. It's brand new, so we would love for you to try it out and tell us what you think. I just showed how to install an MCP server right from the registry. So essentially, you can click this install button, click install in VS Code. It's going to pop open in your VS Code, and then you can click install. But one of the most important points is to make sure you're reading the documentation. Okay, because the documentation is going to have additional information on how to actually use these MCP servers. Sometimes you need to have Docker running, sometimes you need to get an API key, sometimes you need to have an external app running to use the server. So make sure you're reading the documentation, even if you one-click install from our registry. So I just installed the GitHub MCP server here. And so now I'm asking GitHub Copilot to create an issue in this repo that says update UI. Just something very, very simple so I can show you the progress or the flow. And so now it's definitely going to be using the GitHub MCP server here. It's asking me permission to use the server. So I'm going to say allow in this session. And it's going to go ahead and create that issue for me. And that was actually very fast. So, and it also linked the issue here. So let's take a look. It opened it up in the wrong browser. So let me just pop it here. And there we go. So update UI, and it says this issue tracks UI updates and improvements for the Advocate Hub application. So there we go. Very nice, very easy way to create or like to interface with the GitHub, from your with your LLM tools is by using the GitHub MCP server. And that's how you do it from our MCP registry. Amazing. Exactly. I know. I'm so excited about the official GitHub MCP registry. I can't tell you. Great. I'm so happy that you all are also excited about this. Okay, so try to provide more context. It would be more fast, something like using the GitHub MCP server, please create the issue in the following repo. Well, Jonathan, I was trying to show that you don't really have to say use the GitHub MCP server, right? GitHub Copilot intuitively knows that to create an issue in this repository, it also understood what this repository meant. It understood that this repository is the Advocate Hub repository, and it understood that to create an issue, it needed to use the GitHub MCP server. So while being explicit is helpful and providing more context is helpful, right here I showed you that you really don't have to do that when you're using the GitHub MCP server. GitHub Copilot automatically knows to invoke the GitHub MCP server. Actually had some downtime at work. Hi, been a little bit. Yeah, welcome. It's nice to see you. Thank you for joining us again. Awesome. So it looks like folks are really loving the GitHub MCP registry. Be sure to go to that link, gh.io/MCP registry, to check it out. and start, using MCP servers. One of my favorite MCP servers to use these days, apart from, of course, the GitHub MCP server, is the Playwright MCP server. Have you tried it? I showed y'all how to use it last week, and every time I use it, I'm amazed because I love seeing Copilot go in and click around to test the UI. It's absolutely incredible. Downtime at work, is that a thing? I know, right? I know. But I'm happy that Shay, yeah, I'm happy that Shay was able to have some downtime at work so he could join us. And thank you for joining us, Jeremiah. It's nice to have you here. Okay, so yes, ask me your questions. So what is the process to get other MCP servers added to the GitHub registry? Great question. Let's take a look at the blog post to see if it can give us some context there. So right now we launched with it looks like 39 curated servers, so we can get initial feedback from the community, and so we can show you what this could possibly look like. Currently, I don't think you can add a server right now, but that's incoming, of course. But I know that it's connected to the official open source MCP registry here. And so we're pulling in servers from this community-driven registry service, right? So like if you can get your MCP server to be on the official MCP registry list, we'll then be able to pull that in at a later time when we start really going in on MCP servers on the registry. We can pull in your MCP server onto the MCP registry. But I'm sure it has to meet certain standards and guidelines. So make sure you go to this repository to learn more about that. And I'm going to drop the link here. And also be sure to read the blog posts to learn more. So this is the official, MCP blog post. If you go to github.com blog, you should be able to just see this right there on the front page because it's brand new. So check this repo here. This is pretty cool. I think so too. Let's see. Playwright MCP game changing. Oh my goodness, Philip. I am literally obsessed with the Playwright MCP server. I can't tell you. I can't stop talking about it because it just works so well. And especially for visual testing, it works really well with your LLM tool. So like you can say, here's the mock design from my designer, and here's what my site is looking like. Can you use the Playwright MCP server to make sure that it's pixel perfect? And just seeing the tool going into the browser, clicking on things, testing things. So good. Okay, so are we working on Astro, the Advocate Tracker app today? Oui. So let's actually go to that app and do some things. Okay, what should I do with it, Morgana? I think I just want to ship it and have you guys to keep working on it because I think I'm, my brain gets a little wary. My brain gets a little weary sometimes when I've been working on something for a minute and I feel like it's done. But let's see where we are. Here. And let me know if you have questions about our MCP registry. The other thing I wanted to show was the that auto model picker that we saw launch too. I'm not seeing an option here. Maybe I need to update my VS Code. Oh, it keeps opening on this screen over here. All right, so let's go to the app that we built together, okay? This is it. So Advocate Hub, just in case you're new, a few weeks ago, we built this Advocate Content Hub. So essentially, as developer advocates, we create a lot of content from videos, from long form videos for YouTube to short form videos to blog posts, technical documentation. We also do talks and all that jazz. And so for me, it would be great to have a central place to just paste a link to one of that content piece and just have it automatically be unfurled and captured into a hub, right? Like a dashboard for all my DevRel content. And so that's how Advocate Content Hub came about. And so right now I can paste a URL and it will, just save it right here. Nothing really special is happening right now, but we've come a long way from the MVP. I feel like this is looking really good right now. And I kind of don't know where else to go with it. What else should I add? I know like I need to work on unfurling the images here. I also would like to click on it possibly and maybe like see a preview in the application, but I actually don't know if that's necessary because I can just click on the link and it will take me to the source of the content. So I think that's fine. But last week I showed you with the Playwright MCP server how Copilot was able to update the drop-down menu here by making sure that it matched the UI. But what else should I add to our content hub? Please let me know. Okay, so Shay says, is this like the phone app you were working on? Calling me out. Oh my goodness. So I still haven't launched Quibbit primarily because I don't want to deal with the Play Store, and every time I save a link to my phone, I say to myself, oh, Kadesha, please ship Quibbit so you can use it. So I guess it is kind of similar to Quibbit, but it's different in that this is specifically for developer relations, developer advocacy content. But what should I add to it? You know what I mean? Like, for example, if I go to the blog, the GitHub blog, and let me find something that, recently worked on this blog post, right? I can copy the link and then it's going to just, save that for me right here. And it's an easy way for me to keep track of the work I'm doing as a developer advocate, right? Simple and easy. I would love for there to be images here, but that's going to take a while, so I won't do that on this live stream. But I think I should ship this. I think the MVP is done, right? So I think I should just ship it and have you guys like submit issues so we can keep hacking on it. But what do you think? What else should I add to this project? And actually, I know the perfect person to ask. Let's ask my bestie Copilot here. What other features can I add to this project? Okay, let me see something. Okay, so Copilot's going in and it's going to analyze the repository for me to see what features I can add to this project. If you have any ideas, please pop it in the chat. I would love to know your ideas. Oh, let me not do that. Okay. I missed your Playwright cast, YouTube. Oh, Zarek, I can show you. I can show you right now. I can, because I'm obsessed with it. But yeah, it was the one from last week. It was our Rubberduck Thursday session from last week where I showed off the Playwright MCP server. I can show you again. Never fear. Never fear. Remind me. I'm going to write it down. Okay, so looks like Copilot has a few ideas. So let's see what we have here. Let's see what we have here, and then I'll take a look at some more comments. So let me make this a little. Okay, so well-structured content tracking tool for developer advocates. Here are some meaningful feature suggestions. Okay, analytics and performance tracking, content performance dashboard. I mean, that would be cool, but it would require. I'm not sure if that's what I want the the content hub to be, but that would be good. Platform analytics, content calendar view. Okay, I do like this idea. ROI tracking, connect content to leads, signups, or other business. I love this. I love a good ROI tracking. But how would I be able to connect that to the content hub is the question. So these are really good ideas. Smart organization and discovery, AI powered tagging. Oh, content clusters, automatically group related content. Love that. Smart search, content recommendations, workflow and productivity. Oh my goodness. So I think I want to create issues for these because these are actually really, really, really good ideas. I think something we can work on right now was probably be to implement an export feature. I think that would be great. It would also be really cool to have like an internal view and an external view. So a public portfolio sharing. Okay, so I see that there's quite a bit that can be done here. Okay. Can you create issues for me for each category of suggestion? Does that make sense to you? So you know how it gave me like 5 categories here? So I want there to be like 5 issues. There should be 5 issues with the recommended feature suggestions. Let's see. So I'm expecting it to know to invoke the GitHub MCP server to get this done. So it should ask for permission to do that. Though I did allow it in this session, so it didn't ask me to do that, but you can see here that it's running. So right now it's creating those issues for me. Will it be 1 issue? Will it be 5? Okay, so I'll create 5 issues for the recommended feature categories. How powerful is this, guys? Like you can capture your ideas immediately because of the GitHub MCP server. I'm obsessed. I am obsessed. Okay. While that's going, okay, I'm gonna comb through these comments here. All right, so we have issue 1, 2, 3. It's gonna create 2 more issues. And we should be good in business. So yeah, we're gonna keep working on Advocate Hub. I will ship the MVP though, because I feel like right now I can keep track of the work I'm doing. I may implement profiles so people can log in and save the stuff, and maybe implement Supabase for a backend database so that it's actually in a database so you can use it on your phone and all that jazz. Maybe make it a PWA. Okay, so now the ideas are flowing. Okay. Look at that. Now we have all these issues. It's going to open up over here because, okay. Let's go here. Let's go here. Great. So now you see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new issues. I have 7 issues here that Copilot created for me. It also added labels, which is great, right? RSS feed would definitely be good. All right, so it looks like we have a lot of work to do. Okay, looks like we have quite a bit of work to do on our Advocate Hub. So quick wins. Let's take a look at this. So extend content types to include podcast, live stream, webinar, newsletter, speaking. I love this. This is a great idea. Update platform detector for new content types. Update UI components to handle new types. Okay, I think this is definitely a quick win that we can do. What do you think? Can you see is it too tiny? I think so. So let's do this one. I'm gonna pop this. Let's do it like this. I'm gonna make this that, and I'm going to go to my VS Code, make it that. I'm gonna pop it over there. I'm going to hide that. Let's open up. I can actually open up Copilot in the editor here. Yeah, that way we can see things a little better. Sorry, 1 second. me set this up for you right here. And great. So now Copilot's open up in my editor so I can work better. And let's implement one of these quick wins, and then I'll bring up my guest for the day. So I'm actually going to start a new chat here. I want to say I want to enhance. Oh, you know what I can do? I can say, let's implement. Let's do this. Number 1 in issue number 4. Do you think it will know how to do it? I think it will. So let's see. I'm going to just say that. Let's implement number 1 in issue number 4, and let's see if Copilot understands what I mean. All right, so now it's going to go fetch the issue here. It's using the get issue details tool. Love that. Do you see how great this is? Do you see how great it is to have the GitHub Copilot MCP server here? Now it's going to create a plan to implement the enhanced feature, or the enhanced content types here. Created 4 to-dos, and you can see the to-dos up here. Extend content types, update platform detector, update the UI components, test the enhanced content types. Perfect. Perfect. And now it's doing some updates, right? So let's take a look at the comments while Copilot's working here. This is pretty cool. Yep, I absolutely agree. So Laura says, Playwright changed the way I am automating. It is reducing my coding time by 80%. That's excellent, Laura. I love to hear it. Love to hear it. I'm obsessed with the Playwright MCP server. I'm not even kidding. I created a simple castle-themed text adventure game. It's a great fit for an array of string pointers in C as a test of MCP. Pretty fun and great for learning. Oh my goodness, is that open source? I would love to give it a whirl. That sounds super cool. How did you build it? Okay, so let's see. Depending on what language you're using for code, you could snip that thumbnail code from Quibbit and use it for this web-based app. Oh. Tell me more. Send me a DM. I want to understand. Add dark mode. Always. What does the AI tagging features mean? Oh, right. So essentially, it would be to like connect an LLM. So I could connect, let's say like, which one is it? Which one? I'm blanking. I could connect GPT-4o Mini to the application so that when I paste a link, the app automatically knows what type of content it is. So if I paste a YouTube link, it will know to tag it as a video. If I place a blog post link, it will know to tag it as a blog post. If I paste a podcast link, it will know to tag it as a podcast. So I think that's what the auto tagging feature means. Happy to be here. Happy you're here. Link to that repo, please. Yes. If you go to this short link, gh.io/advocate-hub, it will take you to this project. Let's see. I wish I could give opinion, but I know nothing. Greetings to all, hoping you're doing great. Aw, you can still share your opinion. You may know a lot more than you think. You may know a lot more than you think. So show yourself some grace here. Hi. Hello, everybody. Oh wow, so we can go track that issue by that prompt. Yes, exactly. So the GitHub MCP with the GitHub MCP server combined with GitHub Copilot, it's so powerful because I can just say, implement number 1 in issue number 4. How incredible is that? And it will go ahead and fetch the issue and start working on implementing the changes. This is cool. I'm glad you think so. Make sure that you're following GitHub on LinkedIn. Make sure you're following me on LinkedIn because I also post awesome stuff on LinkedIn about GitHub and MCP servers and models. The full gamut. Ask me questions. I'm happy to answer and all that jazz, right? So it's a super fun time to be a developer and I'm just having a blast. So let's see what Copilot did because it gave us a summary. So I've successfully implemented the enhanced content type. What was implemented? Podcast, live stream, webinar, newsletter, speaking. Okay. Updated platform detection with support for these. Update UI components. Okay, let's go to the app and see what we have. So let's do a refreshy here. So look at that. It just expanded the list types. So you're saying if I post a podcast, it will auto, let's see. So we do have the GitHub podcast, if you didn't know, where we talk about all things open source, tech, tooling, and all that jazz. And our latest episode was about building personal software to solve your own problems and how AI has made that so much easier. So I'm going to copy the link to the episode here. It was Cassidy and I that was talking on this episode specifically. And you see what I mean by there's so much content that we do as developer advocate here. If I do capture, it automatically, look at that. It automatically categorizes it as a podcast. Oh, I love that. I love that so much. I like this app. I think I will use it. I can actually keep track of all the content I'm producing in an easy way. That's the thing. I wanted it to be super easy. Okay, love that for me. Love that for us. Love that for us. So yeah, I think as usual, you always want to stage and commit. Always save your work. Always save your changes, okay? I will not stop harping on that. It's important to use Git while you're building with AI tools. So we were able to implement issue, the first part of issue number 1. I'm just losing my screens here. I'm so sorry. We were able to implement this quick wins here. And I can just keep going until these are all done. I love that. I love that so much. Okay, so that's what we have. I did promise Zarek here that I will show him the Playwright MCP server. So let's do it. Okay, so I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to say use the Playwright, if I can spell it correctly, MCP server to ensure that the new categories were added. Right, so it's going to do some visual testing for us. Right, so it still has the context from the work that it just did. So let's do this, and let me make sure that the Playwright MCP server is here. It is. I'm going to just disable the GitHub MCP server a little bit, just so it has less tools in its context window. And I'm going to do send. And let me actually, yeah, I'm gonna make this low so you can see the magic when it happens. Okay, so now it's requesting permission to navigate to a URL. So I'm actually gonna do allow in this session, and put that over there. And I'm gonna put the browser on this side once it opens the browser. There you go. It opened the browser. And now it's going to, oh, okay, so now it's going to run the dev server. It's checking to see what node we have, like what version. Oh, you can just do npm run dev, my boy. But let's see. Maybe I should have told it where it's running. Hold on. Okay, so now you're gonna go into the package JSON. You should do npm run dev. Let's see what happens here. I see your questions, but I think I want to resend this prompt. Yeah? So let's start again. Because our app is running on 4321, right? So I kind of want to let Copilot know that. So I'm going to update the prompt here. So I could just come here, click on it, right? You just saw me just click into it. Ensure that the new categories were added to the app. The app is running on port, I think it says 4321. Yeah, it's running on 4321. If you need to start the server, I'm just going to be explicit here. Use npm run dev. Okay, let's resend that and see. All right, great. Wait, I clicked too fast. Allow. Great. What do you mean? Okay, do you see that it added the link here, right? This is Copilot managing this browser on the left-hand side. Is that right? I hope you're seeing the beauty of this and how, and now it's like selecting the drop-down menu just to check to see that the categories are there. It tested the filter functionality. It added another link right there. It's adding a Substack newsletter, so that's a newsletter one. Please keep going. Okay. Great. So it checked the podcast type and it checked the newsletter type. And then it also took a screenshot, which is one of my favorite things about it. And now it's done. And it says, I can see that it's there. I verified the functionality. Platform detection is working. Filter system is updated. So this is something that's really incredible to add to your workflow. Because you know how we all love testing our apps. And here are the screenshots that Copilot was able to take using the MCP server. So it also provided us with the screenshots, right? Proof of work. And so I think that's pretty cool. I really love it. I'm obsessed with it. Okay, so you're making a good session. You're bringing back my mind to programming. I will not miss your live again. Yay, Maurice. We're live every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central for Robotic Thursdays, right? And this is the vibe. This is the vibe. Okay, so I have a special guest with me, Michael, who's waiting in the back. So I'm going to bring him up right now to tell us about... And my brain is blanking again, Michael. I'm so sorry. I know it starts with a V. velocity engineering? Okay, I'm going to bring him up so he can talk to us about that. But what did we see today? We saw the GitHub MCP registry is now live and ready for you to use. So gh.io/MCP registry to go ahead and use the MCP registry here. We'd love to get your feedback on it. This is why I keep saying it, because we really want to know what you think. Go forth, install your MCP servers with this, one-click install button. But what's the most important thing? Read the documentation, folks. Okay, read it. It's imperative when you're using MCP servers. We also saw the Playwright MCP server in action. We saw how useful the GitHub MCP server is when it's connected to your LLM tools. And we will keep working on our Advocate Hub project. So join me next week for more. For now, let's bring up Michael to the stage. Hey, Michael.
Hi, Kadesha. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Love having you here. So okay, folks, I see your questions in the chat. I will get to your questions right after Michael. So tell us, why are you here? Why are you here, Michael?
Well, I joined you on I was in the audience for an earlier Rubber Duck Thursday, like 2 weeks ago. And I said, I would love to share my insights on how we were adopting AI as part of our full SDLC at Microsoft. And we were using what's called high velocity engineering.
Velocity.
Yes. And so basically it's taken a disciplined approach to leveraging AI throughout the entire SDLC. And what we do is focus on providing strong context to GitHub using the instruction file, where we give details on how we want it to work, and helping it to understand more about the process of development. Because in the end, Copilot is a text generator, and without context, it's not going to be very proficient at it.
Oh, so do you want to share your screen with us so we can see you're talking?
I can share. Where there we go. Screen
to show us a quick demo of what high velocity engineering looks like. So while you're looking for the screen, so break it down for us. What is high velocity engineering?
So basically, the idea is that you work along with Copilot almost as a pairing session with a junior developer, and so that you don't have to tell it, oh no, you need to change to this directory when you want to work on this feature. You focus more on providing, again, context through the instructions, which loads into memory as part of its prompt. So instead of saying every time, here's the architecture, it's a prompt that it can use as it's in addition to what the text prompt that you give. And I'm trying to find my Visual Studio so I've got a lot of windows open, and oh no, it's trying to do a tab. Okay, there we go. Oh my Lord, it's mad at me.
That's okay.
I forgot to I might have to restart. Don't tell me I have to restart.
While you're doing that, I can comb through the comments and answer some questions.
Okay.
So I'll take you down, pop you down so you can get that going. Okay, so let's answer some questions. Okay, so let's see. What resources do you recommend using to learn how to code / get better? Great question, Victor. So top resource for you is Free Code Camp. Honestly, it's still great. It's very excellent. They have blog posts, they have, a full curriculum, and they also have YouTube videos for you to learn not only how to code, but how to get better at coding. And knowing how to code is still very much important I know you see me using AI tools and AI coding tools all the time, and I'm just like vibing with the AI. But knowing how to code is imperative to get the most out of these tools. So definitely check out Free Code Camp. And also on the GitHub YouTube channel, we have a lot of learning content as well. So check out the GitHub YouTube channel. Okay. Any prompts for reviewing the quality of code? So great question. So in VS Code, you can actually do code reviews using GitHub Copilot, and you don't need any special prompt. You can just invoke it in GitHub Copilot. You can also get your code reviewed initially before sending it to your team on github.com using Copilot code reviews. And if you want to use a specific prompt, you can always say, are there any security gaps or security leaks in my code? Tell me what I need to do to improve the security of my functions, my methods, my code. And the AI will typically know how to respond to that. What are the benefits of, and Michael, just let me know when you're ready. What are the benefits of using MCP? So MCP, or Model Context Protocol, is amazing because one of the top benefits is you're able to connect your external tools, your external resources to an LLM safely, right? With just the paste of a link, a paste of a JSON, you're able to use your tool. So one benefit you saw today was how seamlessly GitHub Copilot created multiple issues for me using the GitHub MCP server. So before, I would have to go into GitHub and I would have to type out all the issues. And because I would have to do that manually, I often forgot the ideas I had for the app. But because of the GitHub MCP server, I was able to capture those ideas in real time, and GitHub Copilot was able to go forth and create those issues for me. So I think that's one of the biggest benefits of MCP servers is now your LLM has the context of your external software and tools that you're using, and it can do things for you. I've seen people do incredible things. For example, there is N8N, the open source platform for automating stuff, and there's an unofficial N8N MCP server, and wow, let me tell you, it is incredible what you can do with just an MCP server. Okay, so I believe Michael's ready. Yeah, ready to go. Okay, so let's bring Michael up again and see what he has to show us.
Okay, so we're working on the MVP of our startup app, and this is a one of our first actual end-to-end features that we're implementing. The project is called Go Glow Up, and it's basically an AI coach for productivity coach. And so our first feature, our first feature is to actually create a goal that you want to accomplish. Right now we're doing a manual process, but basically what you'll be able to do is chat with AI and say, hey, I want to write a book. And they'll help you break that down into milestones and daily tasks to work for it. So this is our
I had the same idea.
This is our chat session from last night when we spent about a few hours like building up the infrastructure as well as building up our Copilot instructions over here, and we'll look at those really quickly. But basically, I'm using the GitHub MCP as well to run our. We're doing full SDLC using chat. So I'd say so far of all of the assets that we have, I've probably written less than 5% of it. So we're 95% all prompt driven. So I just told it, let's go ahead and start working on this issue number 62, which is create a goal. And so it says, like, okay, I'll assign it, blah, 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 ran the MCP to get all of that. And finally it says, I need to read the two-phase prompting instructions. And this is a pattern that we're using for basically, rather than just all of the plan working in the chat, and I'm trying to bring this up in the preview. Sometimes it doesn't recognize my markdown as markdown. Okay, so okay, it's yeah, it's definitely not recognizing. So so basically what we tell it is like before you start going off and writing code, let's make out a plan for how we're going to approach this specific, what's the word, this specific task, this specific user story. And so it breaks it down into, it creates a plan file which we add to source control, so we have a history of all the work we've been doing. And if you look, we've done a lot of work actually.
Great.
But so here's its plan for adding a goal to the user's list of goals. And so it basically writes out the plan, breaks it down into steps, and then step by step you're able to track as it's doing the work in the chat. So if we look at this chat, we can see hey, it was trying to change to a branch. You forgot to add dash B, so it's not a lot of people say, oh, it's just vibe coding. You ask the developer the AI to generate everything. Well, no, it's a little more. You're adding discipline to it, right? It's actually, that's the engineering and high velocity engineering. You're guiding the system rather than just being a passive viewer and saying, hey, I want you to do this, and it spits out a lot of stuff that might or might not be right. And I was talking to my co-founder while we're doing it. I'm like, okay, we might have to throw this out. We don't know, because because this is our first time doing a very large scope item. This is end to end. We have React Native in the front end. We have Azure Functions in the back end handling the API, and it's connected to a Cosmos DB. We're also using Intra for user logins and things like that. Let me actually
incredible. Yeah, can you see the app?
Run the app.
And second question, how is high velocity engineering different from context engineering? Because context engineering seems to have the same principles where you provide as much context and direction to the LLM to get the best output possible.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of terms until the industry settles on it.
Settles on something. Okay.
Your main job is a prompt engineer, right? You're running the prompt, but you're also looking at ways to improve it. So it's an iterative cycle where it's like, okay, well, it got hung up on this. Let's give it more clarity on how to address that. And it's running. I gotta share a different screen, I guess. I didn't share my full screen because I have a huge. Let me bring this back up. Share screen. I'll just share the screen. Minimize the. It will minimize the StreamYard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great.
And that too.
Ooh. Let's see.
And so this is very much in dev mode for the app. We've got some stories around building up the UI. Is it
possible to make it bigger? And also, is it possible to change that screen? Is that Spotify?
Oh no, this is Apple Music. I'll close it out.
Yeah.
Let me see. I can do double size on here, I think.
So essentially, Michael here is using GitHub Copilot to build out his SaaS app. And I think that's incredible. If you have a SaaS idea, make sure you're using GitHub Copilot to build it because it's excellent.
All right. So you are you able to see this now? I made it full screen.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so right now you don't have any goals entered. And so you can go create a goal, and it's retaining, I guess, what I wrote before. Write a book on HVE, blah blah blah. The date picker isn't implemented yet,
Okay.
but we wanted to verify that we can create a goal and see it in the database. So when I hit create goal, it runs off. Goal created has been created successfully. We haven't done the list. That's our next user story. But what we have, we validated that it is showing up in the back end.
Nice.
And so we go into our Azure portal and the Cosmos DB.
And so did Copilot help you with the DB as well, or did you just create that?
No. So everything, I'll show you that in a sec after this. Everything was created via prompting. So like all of the infrastructure was established. I told it what I wanted and how we establish it. But where is my Cosmos? There we are. If we go into the Data Explorer, we can see that under the plans, we have a new entry. This is we're using event-driven development. So when you create a goal, it registers that event. We're going to pull that into Kafka and have it streaming so that you have full monitoring and tracking of your application.
Wow, you're using some really heavy utility under the hood here for this goal tracking application.
Yeah. And so it kind of shows that, like, you know, a lot of people are dismissing it as like, oh, it can't scale beyond, you know, little demo applications, but we're using full scale, you know, good, well engineered systems to using it to engineer our system, not just to say, oh, here's a web page that lets you make a to-do list. It's a to-do list, but
and also, like, I think this is the beauty, to go back to MCP servers, right? I think this is the beauty of MCP servers. So if you connect, like, let's say the Cosmos DB MCP server, if there's one, or even the Azure MCP server, you can have Copilot directly help you to set up these large scale, like these scalable systems, without having to manually do it, you know, take days, weeks to set it up. It helps you to go that much faster and be that much more productive.
Right, exactly. And so
this is great.
Speaking of infrastructure, we use we have Copilot generate the Terraform for deploying. So like we manually deployed the first environment for development, but we want to have a staging and a production environment as well. And we worked with Copilot to say, hey, let's capture that environment, import it into the dev environment, but also we want to have prod and stage. And I'm not going to click these variable files because they have secrets. Well, actually, they don't, because we pulled the secrets into Azure Key Vault. But but so the modules, you know, we have App Insights, service plan for running the functions, Cosmos DB, OpenAI for hosting the model for the Go Coach, and we actually have a running script for the Go Coach where it might take a second. Go glow up, not the main website, but -web1. And so it's probably idle right now, so it'll take a second to, oh, or not. Or it
Yeah,
will.
just maybe like 2 more minutes and then we can wrap up here.
Okay. And so we have the model trained for
Yeah.
being a Go coach. And it should
Mm.
pop up soon for a history, but it's not. But um I want to be an awesome uh content creator like Kadesha Kerr. And so this is
Nice.
it functioning as a productivity coach.
Yeah.
And so the first thing it says, hey, you want to break this into a smart goal. It's like um, the acronym SMART, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time. And then it'll ask you to oh wow, it has it specifically study your style, posting frequency, but it gives you this better goal than, like, you might have something very vague, like I want to write a book, and oh
Mhm.
yeah, here's my chat history. Finally popped up. So like
Awesome.
I said, I want to write a book. Okay, let's break it down. Weekly milestones. How can you do it? Um, and it encourages you, and so that'll be integrated into the app as well. And
Yeah.
the what it'll also do is help you create these these milestones and weekly plans for and tracking your progress. So
Incredible.
yeah,
I love that. And I love that you're using Copilot to build this out with you and that it's actually been helpful and useful. So, I mean, it looks like you're almost ready to launch your MVP. Make sure you're not over engineering.
right.
Make sure you're not like adding too many features for the MVP, just ship it. And I say this for myself as well, because I've built so many projects and I can easily seamlessly turn them into products, but I haven't shipped it. So I am challenging you, Michael, and I'm challenging myself that we should ship our apps, right? Ship it so people can use it and get the bennies out of it. Thank you so much for coming on and showing us and telling us all about your go-getter project. It's been awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so, Michael, also, I would love for you to submit your project to this competition we are having right now. So it's called the Zero to Merged contest. And essentially, if you submit a 2-minute video about what you built and how GitHub's products, GitHub Copilot, Actions, whatever you're using has helped you building that product, you may be able to win a free ticket to GitHub Universe where we fly you out, treat you like royalty, and learn more about your project, and you'll be able to share your project with our huge GitHub audience. So Michael, I'd love for you to submit your project. If you go to this short link here, you can enter for a chance to win. So submit your projects and tell us how GitHub has helped you to really build this out, especially if you're using GitHub Copilot, and you may be able to win a trip to GitHub Universe. I would love to see you. I'd love to meet you in person to get that going. So definitely check out Zero to Merged to submit your projects. I believe the deadline is coming up pretty quickly. Tomorrow is the deadline, September 19th. So definitely submit that today if you want to enter. Thanks again, Michael, for coming on. So that was a show and tell. Let me know if you liked that, if you enjoyed seeing Michael's project and how he's using GitHub Copilot to kind of build out his velocity engineering method, and using GitHub Copilot to build his SaaS app. If you have a SaaS app, definitely check out Copilot to build it out for you. So I really wanted to show you that auto model picker feature that was just launched in GitHub Copilot, but I'm not seeing that option in my VS Code. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a video and post it on LinkedIn. So make sure you're following me on LinkedIn if you want to see that video. And, I guess this is the end of the stream, people. We are like 15 minutes over, but that's honestly fine. I don't have a meeting, thankfully, right now. So I see more questions coming in about MCP servers. MCP servers, we'll talk more about MCP servers next week, but I'm glad that you guys have started seeing the beauty in MCP servers and why they are helpful. If you're just learning how to code, make sure that you're not just like staying in tutorial hell. You're building things, you're breaking things, you're practicing, you're writing about it, you're sharing your experience online so we can help you. And if you haven't checked out the GitHub MCP registry, be sure to do that. But I think we are done for today. Thank you so much for joining Rubber Duck Thursdays. I'm Kadesha, and I'll see you next week. Bye.